Link Click is a Chinese ONA that has gotten much critical acclaim from the anime community as of late, but has been encapsulated by many under the term Chinese anime. And while the term by itself is somewhat representative of the product being made, I feel it's slightly disingenuous as it by nature simply compels people who hear it to believe it's just like your Japanese animes, but they speak in Chinese instead of Japanese. But Link Click, as in tune with what makes modern anime popular as it is, also incorporates plot points and world building that seem like they could only come from a Chinese studio. Other than a straight up historical drama, Link Click's urban setting allows for the writers to subtly incorporate Chinese elements into its production that make it stand out from anything coming out of the East Asian animation scene right now. Episodes 3 to 4 are dedicated to a basketball game. You might not know this, but basketball is an extremely popular sport in China, with Yao Ming being considered a cultural icon. Episode 6 to 7 is dedicated to a human trafficking case, which I find to be a bold topic to cover, as human trafficking is very rampant within the more rural parts of China. In episode 8, we see Shu Shuashua and Dong Yi playing a mobile game based on what seems to be a MOBA. It turns out that the biggest market for mobile gaming is China, dominated by companies like Tencent, who've grown to the second largest video game company in the entire world. Now, I could have watched the show without knowing this information, or knowing that it's tied to China in some form other than the fact that they literally speak Chinese. I mean, there are many places that also have basketball, mobile gaming, and human trafficking. But what hits me the most is the portrayal of food. Not just because it's specifically Chinese, but because I'm specifically Chinese. Whenever the Asian side of my family would gather together, we would go to a restaurant to eat something called dim sum, which is basically a Chinese meal based around eating in groups with a big spinning glass counter where all the dishes are placed. And the table would turn where everyone gets their turn to add a variety of food to their plates. I can remember the loud bustling of the restaurants, where other parties talking loudly to people on other sides of the table, frantic employees pushing carts full of steaming hot dishes, and me sitting next to my cousins enjoying a variety of foods. Spring rolls, steamed vegetables, dried noodles, pork-filled buns, bowls of soup or rice, sponge cake, and of course, not fish, because ew. And afterwards, we would always walk to the nearby Gongcha or Tierra or 95 Degrees and order a bubble tea. Dishes like these are specifically shown in great detail or have entire episodes surrounding restaurants or shops, like in episode 2, which mainly takes place in a noodle restaurant, or episodes 6 through 7, which is dedicated to a couple that owns a tea shop. The central theme of Link Click is explored through Cheng reliving the most traumatic parts of people's past, finding a way to a better future. But the short stories, like photos, picture an entire emotional and physical environment that encapsulates a memory, the people you were with, the food you ate, the places you've been, the things you said. As much as Cheng Xiaoxi and Lu Guang's relationship encapsulates the narrative through line between each episode, where Link Click truly shines is in developing a setting. A world full of different people, each with their own gripes and pains with their past, and no matter how tragic it may be, how it cannot be changed. The setting is aided substantially by it being a Chinese production, whether intentional or not, including culturally relevant items and activities into the most minuscule of details. The show's ending being centered around a more trite time travel plot saddens me, as the show could have continued what it was doing and become a seasonal chart topper like Gintama or Mushishi, just doing its thing and doing it well, but the twist at the end had me more hyped for a second season than ever. I'd recommend this show if anything I've said interests you, or if the animation you're seeing right now appeals to you even slightly. If you enjoyed that video, consider leaving a like. It greatly supports the channel, and consider subscribing if you want to see more content on the way. Anyway, thanks for watching.